Tanya, can I get you to stop sharing your screen for 1 second? My apologies.
No problem.
Perfect.
All right. Hello. Hello, and good afternoon, everybody. I want to first of all thank GBBC for the opportunity to be here with you guys today. Hold on a second. Let's try to make sure we're sharing the right slides. Okay. So it's such a pleasure to be with you guys here today. So I want to thank the GBBC team for putting this together, and I hope everybody has been enjoying this amazing week. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about P&G and how we look at sustainability, and really this is sustainability and how it interplays technology. So we actually got a question the other day, does P&G ever just make products? And the answer is, in addition to making products, we do. We feel we have a strong responsibility to you as our consumers, to our shareholders, to our customers, and to our employees, and of course to this planet. And to not just make products, but make sure that we continue to be a force for good and a force for growth. And so the program that we operate sustainability under is called Ambition 2030, and that plan is designed to do just that. We announced earlier this year that we aim to be carbon neutral by 2030. And so this program is very exciting because it looks at how we could reduce our footprint across our manufacturing environment, our plants. So all of the products that we're creating for you, we're doing that in a responsible way. And it's exciting to be here with you today because we're going to talk a little bit about the interplay between sustainability and technology. So as we look at our key priorities for the future, we aim to stay ahead of the curve always by looking at what we call constructive disruption. So it's not one particular technology that we call out, but we experiment according to the problem at hand, the region that we're operating in, the question that we're trying to solve, and the consumer that we're serving. And these are the most important vectors in defining any type of solution. So this week, what's really cool is we have the opportunity to talk to you about how we could create solutions that delight consumers and are designed to help us have a sustainable future. So as I talk to you today, there's 3 key themes that I'd like you to keep top of mind. So first of all, it's going to be about transforming our consumer experiences as they use our products and services. And we're going to do that with personalization. And we're going to do that while ensuring that the data that we collect and share remains safeguarded at all times. We're also going to anticipate the evolving supply chain environment. And anybody who works in supply chain knows how highly complex it is. Many systems interweaving together, interoperating together. But this is absolutely necessary for us to deliver the transparency and the visibility to our consumers that they're requesting right now. And finally, we participate in a macro societal problem-solving era and ecosystem through these coalitions and these industry groups, working groups that we're invested in. And that's where we really look at different types of open standards. And this is actually where we're able to be a force for good and a force for growth. And our sustainability programs, of course, a perfect example of that. So let's start with one of these big macro problems, especially because we're in Climate Week and we're really talking about how we could come together to meet and match and solve some of these big sustainable development goals. We know that we accomplish more together than alone. And really, this is a pivotal message for any innovation-focused strategy within sustainability. So we're part of a few different coalitions. One that you might have heard of is the Alliance to End Plastic Waste. And the other one I'm going to talk a little bit more about today, which is called the 50-Liter Home Coalition. And this is where we've joined forces with companies and organizations who equally support the missions at hand. So 50-Liter Home is a program that's up against primarily Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which is around water scarcity. But as you could see, it hits other sustainable development goals. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities. 12, where it's all about responsible consumption, right? And that's where recycling would come in. 13, where it's really about climate change overall. And that's part of the trend that you're going to see in this space. A number of these SDG goals are going to start to interact with each other. And mainly that's because we are actually trying to solve problems that are human-centric problems. This is really about people. And when we talk about people, we have to talk about communities. When we talk about communities, we have to talk about regions, and we have to talk about how we do this together. As you solve one, you start hitting against some of those others. And it's because we really are part of an interconnected world. So many of these problems, for them to really get done, we have to do them in cooperation. And I think that's exciting for anybody who is a solutionaire or a technologist or is passionate about sustainability. So today, the average household in the United States uses about 500 liters of water per day. Our 50-Liter Home Coalition is designed to see if we could build solutions in concert together where we could have an average household only using 50 liters of water. And some people might ask, well, why 50 liters only? And it's because a few years back when Cape Town, South Africa almost went dry, they were actually rationed to only 50 liters per household. And so we believe that in coming together, not that one company could do this on their own, but maybe in coming together, we believe we could build irresistible consumer experiences while meeting these target goals and saving water. So to reach these goals, it's going to be necessary for us to share data with each other. It's going to be essential that we ensure that this data gets to be interoperable and that data is protected and safeguarded. And so many of you who've had a lot of exposure to the blockchain space will say, well, hey, you're saying words that I really recognize. And in fact, that's actually true. So while blockchain is a technology, and it's one of the many technologies that we use to experiment in upcoming innovation, it does have us thinking differently about the roadmaps for cooperation and how we could tackle some of these massive problems. So I'm just giving you a little taste of 50-Liter Home, but tomorrow you'll be able to hear from my colleague, Franz Besnick, who's actually going to be doing a 30-minute session, really taking you through all the nuts and bolts of 50-Liter Home from beginning to end. So I hope you get a chance to tune in. The second area that we were talking about is really around evolving our supply chain. And really, as we think about supply chain from a sustainability standpoint, we're really thinking about offering more transparency in our products offering. And that's actually what our consumers are asking us for. Procter & Gamble has been credited with having one of the best supply chain systems in the industry. We have amazing folks in product supply and across the business who really work to refine and remediate gaps that we see in transportation and logistics, or in warehousing, in customer orders and fulfillment, and in raw material sourcing. These are massive global operations where we have hundreds of suppliers and customs organizations, everyone having different levels of documentation that's needed according to the jurisdiction that they're operating in. So if what I'm saying sounds layered and complex, it's because it is. And that's why we believe this is actually an area that, we feel like we'll be able to continue to reinvent with innovation and methodologies, new methodologies. And many of the problems, though, that we face as we look across being able to offer transparency, it's not uniquely technical. It requires a willingness to redesign processes end to end, right? And especially where we interconnect with other folks. And while we know blockchain is one aspect that can help us and has been helping us from a traceability standpoint and from a verification standpoint, it still requires that those who are experiencing deep problems in given areas really help to lead the redesign. We kind of have to all come together to look at how we could continue to create standards that prevent counterfeits from getting into the supply chain, or give us new and more and better mechanisms to ensure that we're reducing fraud. We have led a lot of work in traceability of ingredients, and we've used that primarily to tell different stories and to ensure as consumers are asking for things about ingredient transparency, that it's there and they'll be able to see what it is that's going into their product. And as we look at continuing to advance this area, we're looking at different types of digital serialization mechanisms. So many people are familiar with the QR code and with NFC and with RFID, and a lot of these different codes and mechanisms are continuing to evolve. And we're getting to the point where we could have unique codes and we could have signatures on products, and that gets really interesting for us. And so we're also exploring how blockchains interoperate. So figuring out these standards is going to be paramount as we really look to deliver on the consumer request around transparency and how we evolve that through the supply chain. And as we continue to transform experiences with the consumers, we now shift to talk a little bit more about personalization and what that means and how we get to personalization and how critical data is for us in this space. Many of you might know that every year we participate in the Consumers Electronics Show. And this is a place where we go and we focus on how our connected devices at home can be showcased as, future innovative products for consumers. So we really look at these new products and services that aim to solve consumer needs and pain points. And we have the ability to transform people's experience with technology. A lot of these products that you see here represented, we're actually using artificial intelligence and machine learning. We're using different elements of automation to continually improve the output of the results and to refine your experience. So as more data gets ingested and as we're able to better train algorithms, we're able to deliver you a better experience. So if you were there in January, you got a chance to see us as we took a look at one of these devices called Opte. Opte is a device from our beauty care division. And what it does is it actually prints on a thin layer of foundation and moisturizer to the exact amount that you need after analyzing your skin. So using data and analytics, we could actually make sure you're using less product. And we look at Oral-B, and we had a few different Oral-B advanced toothbrushes there. And what it does is it guides you on your brushing habits to make sure you're getting the best or the optimal clean that you can. So we analyze those brushing habits and we provide you with coaching. And I think that becomes pretty fun for folks. And then finally, we have even Charmin that you see in the corner. And Charmin presented an amazing product called Give It a Go. And really what it did is it mapped the trajectory of a robot, using a robot from where you keep your toilet paper in your bathroom to your bathroom throne, based upon a consumer insight that nobody ever wants to be caught at the throne without Charmin. And so all of these really fun, relevant experiences happening in your home are all enabled by data. And so data and analytics continue to be really critically important as we're starting to evolve this experience. So equally important to us as a company is making sure that we're protecting your data, and that remains one of the key and core focuses that we have. And that is something that we design right into at the beginning of the design. We know that that's what we need to safeguard. So every time we look at new technologies, we're also looking for new structures and new protocols that are going to help us do this. So as we think about experiences around sustainability and what is coming next for our brands and for our categories, for our partners, and for these coalitions that we're part of, we do believe starting with the right mindset, believing that you could do it, having the right intention behind doing it, designing amazing experiences, but keeping the principles of consumer first at the top, making sure that data is protected. We believe that we could get you as a consumer the services that you need, and we could also make sure that we design in and do what's right for the planet at the same time. So these will continue to be key pillars for us as we continue to develop in our innovation journey and our sustainable innovation journey and how they interweave. Today, more than ever, especially as we're all going through what's happening with COVID, we're in an environment of remote working where collaboration and socializing is all happening from a distant standpoint. So digital transformation will continue to be ultra important to help us be positioned for agility and change. And we will continue to use technology to really help us solve business problems while ingesting very deep subject matter expertise, partnering externally and internally according to what it is the experience that we're trying to create for you, the consumer. So today, our call to action for you is simple. It's to get involved. When we talk about these sustainable development goals, this is an open innovation ecosystem because these are really, really big goals that we all have to contribute. So I invite you to ask more questions about the goals themselves and about the technologies that we could use behind them to really start collaborating and solving some of the problems. I believe the future of our industry is absolutely interwoven with sustainability and with technology. So because we can do better together, we look forward to doing that. So we look forward to continuing down this path and this journey with many of you. So as you raise your hand and have solutions, definitely we're looking forward to hearing them and having you share them. And so check out sustainability.pg.com if you'd like to know more about our sustainability program. Enjoy the rest of the conference and take advantage of this time to get to know new people in this space. And we look forward to connecting soon. And again, a big thank you to GBBC for having us today. Have a great one, everyone. Bye-bye.